Wow, people are mad. People are angry. People are fuming and foaming at the mouth about the recent news. The big bombshell news dropped by Sony today that they will no longer be supporting physical media. They're done. They are done with physical media starting in 2028. It's over. That's it. Going forward, and then obviously for the future of the console industry in general, which will follow suit. We already saw it with Nintendo. And, this comes hot off the heels of the news from GTA 6 that that's going to be a digital only game. Big news. This is big news. And it did kind of rattle me in a sense. I wasn't angry, I wasn't upset, and we'll get to that. But it did rattle me. It was kind of a shock um, to get an announcement like that. Not the news itself, not the fact that Sony made this decision, because I saw that writing on the wall for a long, long time. And you know, I've been saying this for years, that physical media is on the way out. It's being phased out, and I understood why. And here's the thing, there was definitely a time where I was a very strong defender of physical media. I was a very strong defender. You got to remember, I am a millennial. I did grow up for years and years collecting games physically, buying games physically. So, this is coming from someone in their late 30s. Like, I get why people are shocked by such an abrupt announcement from Sony, because I didn't expect quite so abrupt an announcement. Obviously, this means that PlayStation 6 is probably around the corner. It's probably coming out maybe that same year, 2028. Um, it makes sense. So, although I was a little shocked by how abrupt it was, I definitely don't have a problem with this shift, because it is a shift. It's a technological shift, and we've been here before, guys. We've been through this. You know what I mean? We've been through this before with like VHS and payphones leading to DVDs and smartphones. You know what I mean? Like, these things happen. Video rental stores turning into mail order rentals, turning into streaming services. Like, we've seen these shifts before. You know what I mean? Like, technology changes. Yes, like, one era ends, another begins. And that is what is happening here. But man, people are pissed. People are so pissed off. I I mean, this might be the most like, I don't know. I have a feeling that this video is going to stand out remarkably, if it gets any traction at all. If by some chance this video catches any degree of attention more than I usually get on this channel, which usually isn't much, but like, if I'm ever gonna go viral, maybe this is the chance, because I feel like everybody else out there is fuming and mad. Everybody else, I've seen quite a few videos already today from different people, mostly angry people, mostly very, very angry, upset people, to varying degrees anyway. And they're just treating this like it's the apocalypse, like it's the end of the game industry as we know it. It's all done for. It's doomed, you know? And here's the thing, I've always had a more optimistic view of the modern games industry, okay? Even Sony, which apparently is like the devil now. I don't know. People talk about Sony these days like it's just the most evil, diabolical game company in the world. And look, I'm not saying they don't deserve shade on occasion. I'm not saying that all their practices and things they do and decisions they make as a company are always, infallible. And I'm certainly not Sony cucked. I'm not like, a Sony simp or somebody who's like here to defend Sony, poor Sony. I'm not, you know, I'm not in that ballpark by any means. But at the same time, I do think it's crazy how like incredibly pessimistic people have become, not only about Sony but console gaming in general, and just like the current state of the games industry. Usually because they're so focused on what the AAA space is doing and what, all these modern like AAA trends are doing, and like what the big companies like Rockstar and Square and Sony or whatever, and what they're doing. And it's like, the game industry is so much more than just those handful of like billion-dollar companies. Like, I think maybe that's why I am a little more optimistic, you know? I mean, I think I still catch a lot of hell for like still owning a console and still, and worse yet, a PlayStation 5. When I should surely be on Steam with all the other PC gamers by now. I should have got with the program. And the fact of the matter is, I don't own a PlayStation for like billion-dollar exclusives, and I don't own it for physical media either. I have more games in my digital library at this point than I do physically. It's just a transition I naturally just moved into. I watch shit off my phone all the time. I watch stuff off of streaming. I watch stuff like I don't have this fear of a digital only future. I don't fear it the way so many people do. Many people from my generation, they're just like terrified of the idea of not having physical media anymore. And look, don't get me wrong, on some level, it's bittersweet. It is, there is a degree of mourning here. It is kind of sad to see it go. I do have fond memories of buying physical media. I still have a physical collection of games, some dating back to the PS2, that I do cherish, some of which are rare, hard to get a hold of nowadays. They're nice treasures, but it doesn't mean I need physical media to stick around forever, because realistically, nothing sticks around forever. You know what I mean? Because let's get to the root of the argument here, the root of why so many people are angry, or why they claim to be angry about the death of physical media. And I think it mostly boils down to this idea of ownership. That if you own physical games, you truly own them. If it's physical, you own it. It's yours, and you're going to have it forever and ever. Nobody could take it from you or whatever. Let me tell you something, folks. Take it from me, okay? I've had more physical media stolen from me, robbed from me, than any digital piece of media I've ever owned. Ever. Ever in a million years. Like, everybody's going on and on about how digital media is going to be stolen. Oh, it's going to be taken because licenses fall through or whatever. And Sony can just take this stuff away from us anytime. And, we don't truly own it. And it's like, brother, you don't own anything. Okay? The body I am speaking through right now is temporary. It's ephemeral. It's going to disappear after a certain period of time has passed. As I speak, every freaking fiber of my being is degrading. It is aging. Like, we don't permanently own anything, and that includes physical media. Let's just be realistic for a second. Your shit can be stolen. You can have a house fire. You can have a flood. All sorts of things can happen that can rid you of your beloved physical media. It is not infallible. Okay, digital media is not this scary vapor that's just going to disappear at a moment's notice. It's, in some ways, I would argue, digital media in many cases can be safer. Yes, I understand that licenses can be a thing, and yeah, there are perks to, having your stuff displayed on a shelf, and that's very nice, but like, again, I've had more stuff stolen from me and taken from me, or lost stuff while moving or whatever, than anything digitally on my PlayStation hard drive. And guess what? If the PlayStation broke down and I want to get these games back and I get another PlayStation, I could just download them all again from PlayStation Store. They're already purchased, the purchases stay there, and you just download them again and you got all your shit back. Because it stays there, it's data, it stays, the purchase stays, it sticks, you know what I mean? So you just get them all back, You access your account and you get them all back. You can't do that with physical media. Once that shit's stolen and it's gone, you got to purchase it again if you want it again. So tell me, like, what is this sense of security that people have for physical media? And again, that's somebody who has fond memories of physical media, collecting physical media. To this day, when it is accessible, when it's easy for me to do, I still like to get physical games on occasion. But I've gone past the point where I would be a hypocrite to say, oh, digital media is no good. Don't support that. Support physical media. Well, I can't say that because I've bought plenty of digital games. I have so many digital games in my digital library. Tons. Tons. Big games, AAA games, little games, indie games. Because after a certain point, I realized it's convenient. Sometimes it's just easier to download a freaking game than it is to get your hands on a physical copy, especially nowadays, where fewer retailers are, keeping that stuff. It is being phased out, and it makes sense from a business perspective. You know what I mean? Uh, we can't always vilify the big companies for things like this because, yes, Sony made a perfectly reasonable point that more people are buying digital media now than physical. It's reality, bro. Like, it is being phased out, both on the business side and on the consumer end. And I just don't see where the anger is coming from. Like, it's a natural transition we're making here. We're in the year 2026. If this was 2010 and this news was announced, I would be devastated. I would be like, holy shit, Sony, what are you doing? What are we doing? This is insane. I remember rolling my eyes and thinking the share button was a stupid idea, that live streaming was stupid, that was a dumb thing to move towards. Now I love live streaming. So obviously I ate my words there after years of getting into it, because things change, technology changes, the way we consume technology changes, the way we interact with technology changes, and companies are going to respond to that because that's what they do. There's still a business, and for all the shady or for all the shit you can call Sony out for over the years, layoffs or whatever, I'm sorry, I can't be mad about this. I embrace the digital-only future because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Streaming is getting better. Digital technology is getting better. It's getting easier and easier to access this shit. So yes, we're going to move more into that, and physical media is going to be more and more superfluous. There's just no reason for it. It can't be sustained if not enough people are buying it because it's easier to stream. You know what I mean? Like, and the same people that are angry, the same people that are fuming are probably watching Netflix every night. They're probably downloading shit all the time too. They can't stand the idea of something that's been there for so many decades disappearing. And I'm sorry, but I refuse to be that guy. I refuse to be that guy who curls into a corner and sulks forever and ever because times are changing. Well, they change, man. We've been here before. It's the end of one era and the start of a new. That's all it is. That's all the move to digital-only media is. I'll mourn the death of physical media to some extent. There is a little bit of a sadness to it, yes. I'll miss it in some respects, but I'm also not, I don't have this feeling of a doomed future for gaming now, What I love about gaming doesn't involve just opening a case and pulling out a CD. I'm sorry, but that's like a very small little, pleasant little ritual, sure, but like gaming itself, the core of it is not going to change. Games themselves will still be the same games. I know this because I've been playing digital-only games for years now, without having to pop in a CD, and I'm fine. Well, we're all gonna be fine. It's okay. It's all right. Shh, it's okay. Okay, calm down. you'll have a digital collection instead of a physical collection, whatever. Like, and I feel like part of this may very well be that I don't have a wall of games behind me while I'm doing this video or something like that. I'm not some, uh, collector that has like an entire room of games, like a whole storage room with like shelves everywhere for games dating back to the Nintendo or something. Like, I'm used to losing shit. I'm used to things coming and going in life. I've moved around so many times, dealt with so many hardships, lost all kinds of things. Systems have broken down on me and I had to buy new systems. Games have been stolen. I'm just used to things not being so permanent. So the idea of, oh, if I have a physical game, I own it forever. Nobody can take it from me. Nothing can take it from me. It's not like digital media where anything can happen. It's like, bro, that's false security. That's what that is. That's false security. Physical media is just as freaking fallible as anything else. It's all the same shit, okay? You can go blind tomorrow and you'll never see a game again. A little bleak, but I'm just saying, like, we need to just accept that, the gaming itself is not going to change. The fundamentals, you download a game, you're playing it, you're enjoying it. Don't think so hard about like, but what if, this disappears at some point? It's going to. It's going to. You're going to disappear at some point. Everything's going to disappear at some point. I like to live in the moment. I'm not concerned about that. I'm really not. When you've had the rug pulled out from under you so many times, you get a lot more tolerant of that sort of thing, I guess I should say. You realize that nothing is forever. You know what I mean? We try to hold on to things as long as we can. And again, not to get ahead of myself here, the physical media that I do own, that I do have, especially the rare stuff, I'm going to hold on to it as long as I can. I'm going to try to take care of it. I'm going to cherish it as long as I can. But I'm no fool. I know it could, things happen, it's nothing's permanent, man. You don't permanently own anything, you just don't. So like, I think the idea of physical media just going away, it's getting phased out. It's just an inevitable thing, man. It's an inevitable shift. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Sony's doing it, Nintendo's doing it. I'm pretty sure Microsoft will follow suit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not going to stop me from gaming. It's not going to stop me from playing games. I already own so much stuff digitally, and I do not plan on ending that just because I don't have a shelf with a CD in a case. Like, I just don't care. So all this drama, I think people just needed something to react to, and Sony gave it to them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if the backlash and the whining is loud enough to make them back out of it. I mean, I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm just going to be one out of like 5 billion people that is okay with this, especially millennials, because I'm sure millennials are the ones that are complaining the most. A lot of gamers nowadays are just on Steam and gaming on PC anyway, and they're not getting anything physical. They've moved on a long time ago. So like, even as a console gamer, I'm okay with this. Like, I've got to be one in a million, but still, that's all I've got on this story. So, bit of a ramble, bit of a rant, but it was a very sudden news bombshell, and I had to say something about it because people are mad. Anyway, you get to burning and live for the passion.